911, what's your emergency?
Hey lifesavers, it's Lorraine Evangelista from UST Senior High School CCC's Events and Development Management Committee, and I'm your host for today. We welcome you back to the second episode entitled In Heartbeat. For today's video, we will be joined by Mr. Patrick Takinag, and we will be talking about the emergency action principles, mainly how to assess a situation or emergency, and steps on how to perform them accurately. So, tune in until the end of this episode in order to have a full knowledge on how can we save a life. Let's go!
So hello guys, so once again, my name is Patrick Takinag, a former UST SHS Crisis Control Council member and a former president of the UST SHS Crisis Control Council for the academic year 2020-2021. I am an alumnus from the UST Senior High School and a licensed first aider. So now that you've built your foundation as a lifesaver in the first episode of our crash course, it is time that you learn the most vital lesson in first aid, the emergency action principles. In assessing a situation or emergency, these are the steps you'll have to perform in order to provide the highest quality of first aid care possible. Step 1. Scene Size Up. This step shall help you assess the overall situation and the story behind the emergency. Consider first the scene safety, and you know whether the scene is safe enough for you and or your team to enter and provide first aid. Once you're in, you know what happened, such as the cause of the injury, the background story of the injury, and any relevant information you may get from the patient. In case they are conscious or the bystanders are present at the scene, count the number of casualties or victims in need of medical attention and seek consent before providing first aid. This may be asked from the victim if they are conscious or from the bystanders if the victim is unconscious. Step 2. Primary Assessment. In performing primary assessment, it is as easy as RA-ABC, wherein R stands for responsiveness. You must first assess whether a patient or the victim is completely alert and conscious, responsive to voice, responsive to pain, or unconscious or unresponsive. A is for activating for medical help, where you must answer the 5W and 1H questions in order to provide the accurate details about the emergency to the first responders. ABC, on the other hand, stands for airway, breathing, and circulation. First, you must secure the airway by performing what's called the head tilt chin lift maneuver and clear the airway of any foreign objects in the mouth. Breathing is observed through what we call the LLF, or the look, listen, and feel technique. Look at the chest rising and falling to ensure that the victim is breathing. You may also listen to the chest and feel for air coming out of the mouth and nose. The normal respiration for adults is about 12 to 20 breaths per minute, 30 to 60 for infants, and around 24 to 40 for a toddler, 12 to 16 for adolescents. The common pulse point to check for circulation would be the radial pulse found on the wrist of the victim. The normal pulse rate varies per age group, but the normal count for a healthy adult is around 60 to 80 beats per minute. Step 3. Secondary Assessment. While as first aiders, we necessarily do not need to perform secondary assessment, as secondary assessment will be done by the first responders or the paramedics that will be arriving on scene. But in any case where the situation requires this, we must first check for 3 things as part of this assessment: the acronym for sample, the acronym of DOTS, and the vital signs of the patient. SAMPO is an acronym for certain things that we must ask the victim or anyone with the victim. S, which stands for symptoms, signs and symptoms felt by the patient. A, which is allergies. M, medications taken. P, for past medical records. L, for last intake of food and last output, such as urine or stool. And lastly, E, which stands for events leading to the accident. After getting sample, we must now move on to DOTS. DOTS is another acronym made easy to recall, and it stands for deformity, open wound, tenderness, and swelling, which we must check the whole body of the victim for any presence. Lastly, vital signs are checked, which may include the Glasgow Coma Scale, pulse rate, respiratory rate, blood pressure, pain scale, and temperature.
Wow! It was such a concise discussion from our speaker. We are beyond grateful for sharing your knowledge and your time with all of us, Mr. Patrick Takinag. It was such a pleasure to be working with you. And for those who are watching, we hope that you learned a lot from today's episode that you can use one day in the future. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share this video because remember, it can save a life. It is Lub-dub Can from UST SHS CCC's Events and Development Management Committee, hoping to see you soon. Bye!